Hey guys, welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast, your daily guide for inner child healing. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading, the second is a discussion of that reading followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you're here as we continue on this journey of self-expansion and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. Now, before we dive in, I have a few quick reminders. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support here helps us spread the word, allowing us to continue to grow this community. Next, I'd like to introduce our Patreon group, where we have 3 weekly meetings. On Sundays, we have a meditation meeting. On Tuesdays, we have book club meeting. And on Thursdays, we have open topic discussions. These meetings take place at 6 p.m. CEST, so Amsterdam, Paris time. For my next announcement, I'd also like to introduce the Reparenting Daily journal, which you can find on Amazon. This journal follows along with the podcast, so each weekly and monthly themes are reflected in the journal. It provides space for you to keep your notes with plenty of extra resources on each topic that we discuss. It's an excellent tool, and if you purchase it, you can join our weekly meetings for free. Just send me an email and we'll get you linked in. For the last announcement, I'd like to introduce one of my most meaningful creative projects, a 3-volume series entitled Fairy Tales for Reparenting. Now, you might be wondering, why fairy tales? Aren't those just for kids? But through my personal healing journey and in studying the work of Carl Jung, Marie-Louise von Franz, and other spiritual and psychological traditions, I've come to see fairy tales as powerful symbolic maps for transformation. They carry deep, timeless wisdom, especially for those of us doing the hard work of reparenting ourselves. The series follows the structure of the hero's journey. Volume 1 explores the wounded child, stories of loss, betrayal, and innocence. Volume 3 is about the trials of endurance, cunning, and self-discovery. And Volume 3 is the return, stories of transformation, power, and wholeness. Each story is followed by journal prompts and space to reflect on how each story connects to your own inner healing journey. These are not just tales, they're tools. They're an invitation to connect with the part of you that still believes in magic and possibility and healing. You'll find both familiar classic and lesser-known stories from cultures around the world, offering you fresh insights and inspiration on your path. All 3 volumes are now available on Amazon. Your support means so much to me, not just for this project, but for the larger mission of helping myself and others reconnect inwardly. Reparenting is like nurturing a bonsai tree. It's not fast, it's not flashy, but with care, patience, and consistency, it will transform you. Thanks so much for being here and for supporting this work, and also for committing on your personal journey of self-expansion. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's practice. Today's reading is from the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. Just as a reminder, we are in September, and the theme for this month is emotional intelligence. We're in week 1, and the theme is understanding emotional intelligence. Today, we're going to be reading from section 4, Know Thyself. A belligerent samurai, an old Japanese tale goes, once challenged a Zen master to explain the concept of heaven and hell. The monk replied with scorn, "You're nothing but a lout. I can't waste my time with the likes of you." His very honor attacked. The same samurai flew into a rage, pulling his sword from his scabbard and yelled, "I could kill you for your impertinence." The monk climbed, is hell. Startled at seeing the truth in what the master pointed out about that fury that had just got him spun into a grip, the samurai calmed down, sheathed his sword, and bowed, thanking the monk for his insight. "And that," said the monk, "is heaven." A sudden awakening of the samurai to his own agitated state illustrates the crucial difference between being caught up in a feeling and becoming aware that you are being swept away by it. Socrates' injunction, "Know thyself," speaks to this keystone of emotional intelligence, awareness of one's own feelings as they occur. It might seem at first glance that our feelings are obvious. More thoughtful reflections reminds us that at times we have been all too oblivious to what we really feel about something, or woke to these feelings late in the game. Psychologists use the rather ponderous term metacognition to refer to the awareness of the thought, and metamode to mean awareness of one's emotions. I prefer the term self-awareness, in the sense of an ongoing attention to one's internal state. In this self-reflective awareness, mind observes and investigates experience itself, including the emotions. This quality of self-awareness is akin to what Freud describes as an evenly hovering attention, and which he condemned to those who would do psychoanalysis. Such attention takes in whatever passes through awareness impartially, as an interested yet unreactive witness. Some psychoanalysts call it the observing ego, the capacity for self-awareness that allows the analyst to monitor his own reaction to what the patient is saying, and when the process of free association nurtures in the patient. Such self-awareness would seem to require an activated neocortex, particularly the language areas attuned to identify and name the emotions being aroused. Self-awareness is not an intention that gets carried away by emotions, overacting and amplifying what is perceived. Rather, it is neutral mode that maintains self-reflectiveness, even amidst turbulent emotions. William Styron seems to be describing something like this faculty of mind in writing of his deep depression, telling of a sense of being accompanied by a second self, a wrath-like observer who, not sharing the dementia of his double, is able to watch this dispassionate curiosity at his companion's struggles. At its best, self-observation allows just an equanimous awareness of passionate or turbulent feelings. At minimum, it manifests itself simply as a slight stepping back from experience, a parallel stream of consciousness that is meta, hovering above or beside the main flow, aware of what is happening rather than being immersed and lost in it. It is the difference between, for example, being murderously enraged at someone and having the self-reflexive thought, this is anger I'm feeling, even as you are enraged. In terms of neuromechanics of awareness, this subtle shift in mental activity presumably signals that the neocortex circuits actively monitoring the emotion, a first step in gaining some control. The awareness of the emotion is the fundamental emotional competence on which others, This awareness of emotions is fundamental emotional competence on which others, such as self-emotional control, build. Self-awareness, in short, means being aware of both our moods and our thought about the mood. In the words of John Mayer, University of New Hampshire psychologist who, with Yale's Peter Salvery, is a co-formulator of the theory of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness can be non-reactive, non-judgmental, attention to inner states. Mayer finds that the sensibility can also be less equanimous. The typical thoughts beseeching emotional self-awareness include, I should not feel this way. I'm thinking good things, cheer up. And for more restricted self-awareness, that fleeting thought, don't think about it, in reaction to something highly upsetting. Although there is a logical distinction between being aware of feelings and acting to change them, Mayer finds that for all practical purposes, they usually go hand in hand. To recognize a foul mood is to want to get out of it. This recognition is distinct from the efforts we make to keep from acting on an emotional impulse. When we say stop that to a child whose anger has led him to hit a playmate, we may stop the hitting, but the anger still simmers. The child's thoughts are still fixated on the trigger for the anger. But he stole my toy, and the anger continues unabated. Self-awareness has a more powerful effect on strong aversive feelings. The realization, this anger I'm feeling, offers a great degree of freedom, not just the option to act on it, but the added option to try to let go of it. Mayer finds that people tend to fall into distinctive styles for attending to and dealing with their emotions. Number one, the self-aware, aware of their moods as they are having them. These people understandably have some sophistication about their emotional lives. Their clarity about emotions may undergird other personality traits. They are autonomous and sure of their own boundaries, are in good psychological health, and tend to have a positive outlook on life. When they get in a bad mood, they don't ruminate or obsess about it, and are able to get out of it sooner. In short, their mindfulness helps them manage their emotions. Number 2, engulfed. These people are who often feel swamped by their emotions and helpless to escape them, as though their moods have taken charge. They are mercurial and not very aware of their feelings, so they are lost in them rather than having some perspective. As a result, they do little to try to escape bad moods, feeling that they have no control over their emotional life. They often feel overwhelmed and emotionally out of control. Number 3, accepting. While these people are often clear about what they are feeling, they also tend to be accepting of their moods, so they don't try to change them. There seem to be two branches of this archetype. Those who are usually usually in good moods and so have little motivation to change them, and people, despite the clarity about their moods, are susceptible to bad ones but accept them with laissez-faire attitude, doing nothing to change them despite the distress. A pattern found among, say, depressed people who are resigned to their despair. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Today's reading of the section Know Thyself from Social Intelligence reminds us that the foundation of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, the ability to recognize our emotions as they rise. The story of the samurai and the Zen master illustrates the difference between being consumed by anger and being able to step back and notice, this is anger I'm feeling. For those of us healing from trauma, this is a crucial lesson. Childhood pain often taught us to suppress emotions or to be swept away by them without any sense of control. Emotional intelligence invites us to reclaim that middle ground, the space where we can observe our feelings without being ruled by them. This is how we move from living in reaction to living with choice. From our September theme of emotional intelligence and this week's focus on understanding EQ, the reading highlights three styles of people fall into: the self-aware, the engulfed, and the accepting. Trauma pushes us into the engulfed state, overwhelmed by emotions we don't know how to handle, or into the overly accepting state, where we resign ourselves to moods like despair and numbness. The journey of reparenting is about moving towards the self-aware path. By naming what we feel, creating space for those emotions, and choosing how to respond, we begin to build a healthier inner parent, one who neither ignores nor fears, but uses them as guides towards healing and growth. As we move on to the journal prompts today, when I notice I'm being swept away by strong emotions, how can I pause and name what I'm feeling in that moment? Number 2, which of the three styles, self-aware, engulfed, or accepting, do I most often fall into? And how does that shape my life today? And number 3, what small step can I take this week to practice self-awareness so that I can respond to my emotions instead of being ruled by them? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself, and please do be well. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please go ahead and find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment, no matter what time you are listening and practicing this meditation. Namaste.